NutriSaludable subscribe to our YouTube channel to create new health videos. Below we present balance when choosing food. In this goal that you and I have to be better every day by obtaining better nutrition, mastering portions has a direct relationship with balance. We know that we need to have a variety of nutrients from the three families in our daily intake: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Adding that control over the quantity of food will ensure the nutrients we are receiving, thereby bringing us closer to balance, avoiding nutritional deficiencies or excesses. Let's remember that, as important as what we eat is how much we eat. This is when containment begins to operate. In the universe of eating everything, it can still be a pending duty how much, because no food, no matter how healthy it may be, is favorable if it is overindulged. What naturally prevents us from not recognizing when we have reached the limit of our ability to eat? A natural failure to recognize when we are full may come from the physiological aspect, since in people with obesity, the influence of the hormone leptin has been detected, which is produced in large proportions in adipose tissue. Its circulating levels are proportional to the body's adipose reserves and has been considered influential in the development of obesity and energy expenditure. Font El Rosado, 2006. Another aspect that makes it extremely difficult for us to take into account portions and even the quality of food is stress, which acts as a trigger for emotional hunger, an explosion that must be satiated, and which often turns to sweets, processed foods or fast foods that do not provide nutrients, among others, and that are far from nutritional balance. The cortisol generated by stress, this alert mode, greatly separates the reflection that the act of eating should entail. As far as nutrition is an aspect that involves reflection to understand when we eat, how we eat. When we deviate from the correct course, there are appropriate tools such as mindful eating defined by psychologist Mara Clarimund. It is about paying moment-by-moment attention to everything related to food, from how and who has produced or prepared the food, to everything that makes up the act of eating. We bring awareness and kindness to what we eat, to how we eat, and that increases self-knowledge and even allows us to change eating patterns. Join us on this journey of balanced nutrition. Subscribe to our NutriSaludable channel. Together, we can make better health content. The full development of the food experience. Let's begin our approach by recognizing that the way we eat will depend on age, gender, the physical wear and tear we are subjected to on a daily basis, the diseases we go through, our environment, and of course that call we have to family inheritance or customs of a region in nutrition, which make us return to patterns of knowledge and distrust voices with more experience in the matter. If the decision is firm about eating healthy, we can have tools that will improve it, such as the following to calculate daily and weekly portions according to food groups. This first table of SENC rations and weights makes it clear to us what the advisable measure is. It is not about, and we almost certainly will not be able to spend all day measuring the weight, but what we can achieve is to incorporate the tool in a continuous period, in such a way that we exercise knowing and applying the proportions until we know them in a way spontaneous by our familiarization. Table of rations and weight source SENC. The following table is divided into 4 sessions that are food groups, recommended frequency, weight of each serving, homemade measurements. Potato, rice bread, whole wheat bread, pasta 4 to 6 servings a day, 60 to 80 grams of pasta, 40 to 60 grams of bread, 150 to 200 grams pasta, 3 to 4 slices or a roll, 1 large or small potato. Vegetables and vegetables, more than 2 servings a day, 150 to 200 grams, 1 plate of varied salad, 1 plate of cooked vegetables, 1 large tomato, 2 carrots. Fruits, 3 servings a day, 120 to 200 grams, 1 medium piece, 1 cup of cherries and strawberries, 2 slices of melon. Olivia oil, 3 to 6 servings a day, 10 ml a tablespoon. Milk and derivatives, 2 to 4 servings a day, 200 to 250 ml of milk, 200 to 250 yogurt, 80 to 125 fresh cheese, 1 cup of milk, 2 units of yogurt, 2 to 3 slices of cheese, 1 individual serving. Fish 3 to 4 portions per week, 125 to 150 grams an individual fillet. Lean meats, poultry, and eggs 3 to 4 servings a week and alternate their consumption, 100 to 125 grams 1 small fillet, 1/4 chicken, 1 or 2 eggs. Legumes 2 to 4 servings a week, 60 to 80 grams 1 normal individual plate. Nuts 3 to 7 servings a week, 20 to 30 grams 1 handful or individual serving. Sausages and fatty meats occasional and moderate. Sweet, snack, soft drinks occasional and moderate. Butter and margarine occasional and moderate. Water 4 to 8 glasses a day. Daily physical activity practice 30 minutes. We need to know the difference between portion and ration to help us when purchasing a product. The serving or number of servings per container has a direct relationship with the amount of food that appears on the nutritional information label of a product or on the food label. To calculate the measurements, cups or handfuls can be used so that the relationship is established both when cooking and in relation to personal needs. For the nutritionist at the hospital in Madrid, Quironsalud San Jose, Elena de la Fuente, in the face of the increase in obesity rates and diseases associated with both processed products and the larger size of food portions that are far from nutrients rich in fiber, vitamins and minerals, his opinion is that we recommend the Harvard plate method because it shows both quantity and which food groups are appropriate for our lunches and dinners. The first half of the dish will consist of vegetables, which can be alternated raw, leaves, sprouts, tomatoes, grated carrot, cucumber, among others, with cooked, charred, mushrooms, spinach, zucchini. These have very few calories and a high nutritional value, antioxidants, fiber, vitamins, and that is the reason for a higher proportion than the rest. The measure is 2 palms of the hands for each main meal. The remaining 50% of the plate is divided into 2 quarters, with 1/4 of this being a protein, meat, fish, chicken, egg, with simple cooking methods, and the other quarter will contain carbohydrates such as sweet potato, quinoa or noodles or integral rice. This contribution that the nutritionist gives us, gives a final edge to the importance of 50% of our plate when she asserts, since legumes provide carbohydrates and proteins, when eaten, they will cover these 2 food groups. I always recommend including them in our diet 3 to 5 times a week. In this way, the accumulation of fat is prevented and it keeps us from being overweight. I graphed 2 components of a healthy plate according to Harvard Medical School. Vegetables: healthy oils such as olive, canola to cook salad at the table, limit the consumption of butter. The more varied vegetables the better. Fruits: eat fruits of all colors. Whole grains: water, tea, coffee, little or no sugar, limit consumption of milk or dairy products to 1 or 2 servings a day, avoid sugary drinks. Whole grain cereal with brown sugar, whole grain bread and pasta, limit consumption of white bread and rice. Healthy proteins: fish, poultry, nuts, limit consumption. Red meat and bacon, sausages, processed meats. This is one more tool to be able to eat healthy foods based on our degree of hunger, proportionally. Finally, and in relation to the objective of this article, although we recommend starting with the weight to determine the correct measurements in the food portions, we can also exercise with measurements obtained from our own hand, which, individually, brings us some considerations. About the amount of protein, the amount of butter fat, for example, and the servings of vegetables, so, we could summarize the table, it would look like this. Fats, size of a thumb. Carbohydrates, those that cover our fist but in the shape of a bowl. Proteins, open palm, not including fingers. Vegetables, open palm, 2 open palms not including fingers. Graph: the hand tells us how much to eat. Source: Vitalo. Pasta: the portion should be the size of a closed fist. Ice cream: 2 servings will be the size of your fist. Vegetables and vegetables. A portion consists of what fits in 2 hands together. Cheese. The appropriate portion is equivalent to 1 or 2 fingers. Butter. A slice of bread should not have more than a finger of butter. Meat. The portion of meat should be the equivalent of the size of the palm of your hand. With these tools and basic notions, return to the introspection of what you take into your body. You will yield the result of the progressive correctives that you can implement, so as not to live on a diet or without a sure direction, but with the proper balance.